All right, it's time for our second podcast of the day.
Ooh, you wearing me out, man. Wearing me out, but I love it.
That's to be honest, it's not the first time you've ever said that, is it?
No, it's not.
First time to me, but probably not the first time it's come out
I
your
was
mouth.
going to say, probably say it again later on today.
Oh, man, I hope you're having a good Thursday. So we are the Podcasting Dead, and we're going to talk about issue 190 of The Walking Dead. But first, a little introduction. I promise this won't take but a second, and then we'll be on to the conversation about the comic. I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead. We do talk about The Walking Dead, but we talk about lots of other things. So if you're a fan of podcasts in general, consider going to our page and subscribing, whether you're listening on SoundCloud, CastBox, or Spotify, which Spotify might not be up yet. We're having issues with them. And YouTube. So wherever you're listening, consider going and hitting that subscribe button. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you hit the little bell beside the subscribe button so you get notifications. We podcast multiple times throughout the weeks about multiple things. And you can follow us on social media. Mine is very simple. I'm Justin Lloyd, all lowercase with 2 L's in Lloyd. No spaces, no nothing, just I'm Justin Lloyd. That's Instagram, Snapchat, and Periscope. JP's Periscope, which is very entertaining, is just Jpslim, all lowercase, no spaces, and his Snapchat is J_Radsaw. So, without further ado, let's break into issue 190 of The Walking Dead. JP, what was the name of this issue?
Storm the Gates.
Storm the Gates, and Storm the Gates they did. Rick's pretty much got his whole army of friends, his super friends, ready to do battle, which they really were just there to save them from the zombies.
Yeah, everybody's storming the gates. Walker's storming the gates.
Pamela ready to do battle.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Poor Rick.
Stuff going on. Yeah, caught in the middle, man. Like, everything he's done to avoid this exact scenario and just all for naught.
It's kind of like one of those situations where even though everything he did to avoid it has probably helped to cause it in a way. You know what I mean? Like, he's tried his damnedest to, like, let's get Pamela, let's talk this out, let's figure out a peaceful solution. And now Pamela shows up, and she ain't having it. Now, I should have said it at the beginning, but obviously, spoilers, but this is an issue review and discussion. So, you know, you didn't expect spoilers. I don't know what to tell you. But, so we got Pamela kind of jumping to the end, I know, but Pamela is just like, attack, ready to go.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's got in her head, but she's not having it. I guess she's pretty much just realized, Rick shows up and everything's going to pot.
Yep. Which, I mean, I don't get why those soldiers are backing her up. I thought most soldiers backed up Mercer, you know what I mean? But it looks like she's got a few loyal supporters out there.
Yeah, I guess there's like a different little battalion in that next town over, all under the Commonwealth umbrella. But, I guess they're not in on the insurrection, so to speak.
How do you think this is going to end up? Do you think it's going to end up with Rick sitting on the not actually existing, but the throne, we'll say, of the Commonwealth?
Man, I mean, he doesn't want to, but he's got to get his hands around this thing.
You think maybe he's going to, after the battle, he's going to put Mercer in charge there, and then it'll just be like another allied community, kind of like Kingdom and, Alexandria and all of these other the Hilltop, like it'll just be another, or do you think he'll put Mercer or some one of his people on top? Or maybe Michonne. Maybe Michonne will lead it, and, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Michonne would be a little bit better as a governor, for lack of a better term, than Mercer. Mercer definitely seems like he's filling his niche, man. He's a military guy. He's good at keeping people safe. But as far as governing, I don't know.
It is a whole different animal.
Yeah, for sure.
Because obviously we know with all the people that we govern, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But, so I don't know, man. Michonne might be sitting up top, which, I mean, it's kind of interesting when you look at it because Rick's got his friends all strategically placed in charge of places.
Yeah, man. Everything kind of fell together right as it needed to. I mean, Maggie coming up and all that stuff. But.
So we have, in this issue, so we have the walkers storm the gates, and luckily Maggie and her group show up and just drive them away, only to be ready for another battle. But we've got Magna there. Like we've got a large portion of Rick's allies there and ready to go.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how big Pamela's army is, but I mean, it looks like they're heavily armed, man. I mean, they got automatic weapons.
Just hope that next issue isn't just them mowing everyone down.
Yeah,
like the end.
I tell you, man, one of my favorite scenes in this comic was Michonne just putting those kids in check. You know?
Yeah,
they're all ready to play soldier. They got their guns and stuff, and she's just like, No.
Carol's like, your mom is badass.
Yeah. I mean, Michonne's just like straight up. I mean, you go out there with guns and start shooting at people, you know they're going to shoot back, right? And you know some of you, if not all of you, are going to die.
So let's just avoid that and let Mama Michonne run outside and take care of it.
Yeah, man. When she ran out with that gun, I was just like, man, she just kind of foreshadowed what I hope doesn't, but might happen to her. She's running out there with a gun.
You think she's going to get killed? You think this could be the end of Michonne?
It very well could be, man. I don't know.
The end of no way. If you had, so I'm sure another big character death is probably coming from this conflict. Who do you think it will be?
Man, I think Michonne is kind of an easy choice, just with everything going on and the fact that she, her kind of choosing sides.
You think maybe Kirkman's kind of setting it up to where she found her daughter. She's, I mean, essentially what she's done in the grand scope of things is found her daughter, made sure she's safe, and pretty much she'll die. But her efforts have led to her ensuring her daughter will have a peaceful existence. Maybe.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see Elodie picking up her sword, and it's like in The Godfather. Pamela needs to understand, you kill the father, you got to kill the son too, because eventually they're going to come looking for revenge. In this case, the mother, the daughter.
You think Pamela will survive this?
Yeah, I think so. Just grimy people like that just have a way of coming out. No, maybe not on top, but surviving. So
I want to see Negan, damn it.
Yeah, me too, man.
Nothing would make me happier than for him to show up next issue in the heat of the battle and just back Rick up again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I hope Rick wouldn't leave him in charge, but
you never know.
Negan's sitting on top of the Commonwealth. Oh my God.
Man, I still want to see Rick get that Pamela butt, man.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's looking less and less likely, I'll grant you, but
I told you I didn't think it was going to happen.
Man, don't count it out just yet. They still might end up, all at the table. I don't know. Because, bullets start flying, man. Pamela ain't going to stick around. And
she's not built for battle, man. No, she's going to be like, attack! Oh, my God, people are shooting.
Yeah, and then
just
run away.
Take off.
And it's just like you said, it seems like the military force would be more loyal to Mercer. But, at the same time, it seems like Pamela's been easy enough for her to turn them against,
And I don't know how anybody can follow Pamela. I do because it happens in real life all the time. Just look at a lot of our politicians. But I just don't get it. Like, they all know that. They know the way she divides the classes and the way she looks down on certain groups of people. I just feel like they all are aware of how crappy it is. And, there are good things. They're secure. They're safe. It's kind of one of those, philosophical arguments of, are they better left the way they are, even though they are divided in classes? They're safe. They eat. You know what I mean? It's a lot of pros to it, but
yeah, well, yeah. That is the question. Do you trade safety for freedom? That's what it comes down to.
And it looks.
But yeah, man, put yourself in like Jesus' shoes. He's on like Pamela's side of the line. He helped get her to safety. And now he's over there, like with her and just like, oh man, what's going on?
Don't attack! Exactly? Don't attack!
Yeah,
yeah. And we have Michonne runs into Carl in the alley. She's like, Carl?
Yep.
Carl.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it was a good issue, man. Some reunions,
Oh yeah, great issue.
Yeah,
great issue. Like I said, it was just kind of, and it was all kind of centered in one place too, which was nice. It wasn't so much jumping around, which I like.
Very condensed, very condensed.
When you're doing a review and discussion, it's easier when it's all kind of happening together than having to like, oh, we forgot to jump to so and so,
But yeah, man, like 1,000 walkers, give or take, they dispersed them pretty quickly.
Yeah, they did. They're pros at this by now.
Yeah,
they're
just another cattle call for them.
Right. I was gonna say they're like walker farmers, man. Just like 1,000 walkers, whatever. Just get them out of here.
Yep.
But who do you? I don't know, man. Do you think so? You think Michonne's gonna be the next big death?
That was definitely in the back of my head throughout this issue. I don't know. I know you're kind of calling by issue 200. Rick is gonna meet his end, but
and now I'm starting to take that back because it's just too predictable.
Yeah, it's hard to say, man. It's
maybe
really hard to say.
Michonne will straggle out till issue 200. I just feel like once he reaches 200, he's going to do another big death.
I was going to say, man, that's 10 issues. That's 10 months, man. That's going to be
That is true. That is that is a long way to drag that out.
But it very well could be. I don't know. It's something big is definitely, on the precipice, though. Can you say that word like that? On
precipice?
The precipice?
Yeah.
I think you can say it.
On the horizon, if you want to be a little more common terms.
It's popping off. It's popping off for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm really I love/hate the way it ended because I just now want to see the battle.
I know. It's a real,
I think Mercer's gonna die.
Yeah, I could see that. It's definitely a real Mexican standoff, that's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, when you're that close in tight quarters, man, I mean, lots of people are gonna die.
Yeah,
probably mostly on Pamela's side, but still.
I wish, not to get away from the issue itself, did you read the letter column this week?
I didn't.
Man, I wish I had brought it because there was the first letter was right up your alley, man. He was talking about knives and The Walking Dead and how, logistically, it's very hard to pierce bone with a knife. He's like asking what kind of magical metal are these knives made out of? And I was just like, man, that is a Justin question, like through and through.
I think we've talked about that on a regular podcast, right?
Like we have. But
talked about how it would not be as easy just to stab a zombie in the head as the show makes it look. I mean, especially a blunt stick in Morgan's case.
Yeah, because this guy is like a real, seems to be an outdoorsman. The guy writing in, he's just like, I've found, like animal skulls out in the woods, probably been laying there for years. And I mean, they're still like, hard as a rock.
Well,
so.
That's why a lot of murder cases, I mean, like you watch any forensics files or any like of the Snapped or whatever, a lot of times they'll have they'll find bones down the road and these bones have knife marks on them.
Yeah.
But it didn't pierce or break the bone because bone is, especially the skull, I mean, it's like the strongest part. Well, the strongest bone is like in your leg, I think, like the femur or something. I'm not a bone expert, so don't kill me.
The biggest bone in the body.
It's something, but I know the skull's one of like the hardest bones. I mean, you might could go in through the
like the temple,
like area, but I mean, like as far as just straight up stab it down, because I've read somewhere where they say that the show will say, well, it's because they're rotting, but at the same time, bone doesn't rot. Nearly. Like if they got to the point where the bones were mushy, I mean, there would be no more skin, brain, nothing. Like all of that would have decayed away because they are decaying. They're just decaying very slowly. So I mean, but that's interesting. I'll have to go look at that.
Yeah, man, check it out. Like I said, it definitely reminded me of you. I meant to bring it in here, but doggone it all.
We got a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, you know how early we come in. I'm doing good to remember to, wear pants going out the door, much less grab a comic.
And we thank you for that.
Yeah.
We thank you for that. But, so this issue, man, good issue, solid issue. Do we rate the issues, don't we?
I don't know if we do, man. I mean, I would give it, it's...
I give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, this whole story arc's been good, man, and another good little piece of the story. So.
Looks like the show, without giving too many spoilers to the show may be heading this route soon. Sooner than we thought.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Seems to be.
So we will see. But I think is there anything else to cover there? I mean, I'm sure there's little things, but I think the grand scheme of things, we've kind of covered the most. I mean, poor Rick's up in the middle, like, let's get Pamela. We'll sit down. We'll talk about this. It doesn't have to be violent. And Mercer looks like he's kind of going along with it, kind of like, I don't think she wants to talk, but whatever. And then Pamela just shows up and is like, F you.
Yeah, man. Rick's going to have a lot of crow to eat when this is all said and done. I mean, he didn't listen to Dwight, shot him in the head.
Yep.
He's dead now, didn't really listen to Mercer.
And really, if he doesn't resolve this peacefully, doesn't that mean Dwight's death kind of came
for nothing?
Nothing. I mean, like, if he would have just killed Pamela right there, the results would have been the same.
Yeah, and he's still got to explain to all of his people, what happened.
Yeah,
Dwight,
we haven't got any. Where's Dwight at yet?
Yeah, so things are gonna get it's gonna get kind of hairy for Mr. Grimes.
Gonna get hairy real fast, just the way JP likes it. If you listen to our other podcasts, because I know sometimes we'll pick up people that aren't regular subscribers that just are looking for comic reviews. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just go listen to our other podcasts.
No, man, I'm into some weird stuff, but the hairiness, not one of them.
I figured you'd be one of those like just natural people, just let the hair flow.
Nah, believe it or not, nah. One of my many kinks, that is not one of them.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for issue 190, another solid issue of The Walking Dead. I'm enjoying this storyline. Good comic telling. I've seen where some people have commented and said they think that comics have started to suck. I disagree. I think it's still my number. Like whenever I get, what did you read first yesterday? War of the Realms or The Walking Dead?
I read Walking Dead just because I knew War of the Realms was going to be a longer comic, and so I was like,
that was the struggle yesterday with JP. It was like War of the Realms or Walking Dead first, but of course it was The Walking Dead.
Plus, I knew we'd be podcasting about The Walking Dead, so I was let me get this first War of the Realms will kind of be my dessert.
If you like The Walking Dead, consider hitting that subscribe button, whether you're listening on SoundCloud, CastBox, YouTube, Spotify, wherever, because we talk about The Walking Dead. We actually are taking this Monday off, but between now and when the Fear the Walking Dead starts up, we'll definitely be talking about developments. We review each comic as it comes out, and we also have a slew of other podcasts that we think are pretty entertaining.
Certainly.
So make sure to consider checking out our page. If you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button, and we hope to see you back here next week on Tuesday for Current Events Tuesday. In the meantime, we'll just wait for issue 191 and see if JP's Michonne death is going to come to pass.
We'll see.
But I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead.